Me, like I said, he used to annoy me. I told you, on like MySpace and all that stuff with his stupid little garbage, his Twitter rants or whatever.
Yeah.
It gets on my nerves, so I'm glad he's gone.
So that's basically where I stand. I could really care less. I have no issue with School of Rock people. It's the ones that chose to pick sides that I can honestly care less if you live or die. And that goes for you too, Billy. I could care less if you die of a heart attack tomorrow. The bottom line is, I don't give a damn about you. We used to be friends, but you made that irreparable when you went behind my back and did stuff. So as far as I'm concerned, you and all your little cronies who run around, do your dirty work and all that, seriously, I hope you're all in a semi and I hope you just get caught on fire.
Me, like I said, I will say one good thing, though, that did come out of us letting him use our ring before he got his own was he did have some awesome talent. I mean, Dale Patrick's a cool guy. Logan Williams, I cannot wait to see what he will do here in the next 2 or 3 years. He gets more out there more often. Oh, man, the sky's the limit for the kid. There's other guys.
Remy Wilkins.
Remy.
Got a great look and just he's awesome in the ring.
Cool guys that have not, even I talked with Tripp a month ago, said hi and all that stuff. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of his, over this whole situation. Probably never will be again. But, at the end of the day, it really isn't have to do with as much Tripp or James Montgomery, even though I still kind of iffy on those guys, but at the end of the day, my number one target on that whole thing is Billy Logston. Which brings me to the Billy Logston thing, why I'm referring to him as Billy Logston. Well, to me, if Billy Rock lives in this bubble, that he really thinks he's Superman, he's the almighty Indiana wrestling star. So I figure if I call him just Billy Logston, it takes him back to his cat logistics, him driving a fork truck or doing whatever he's doing for a shoot job. Maybe brings him down a peg or two, because obviously he's stuck in this wrestling world where everything is about wrestling and he is just the end-all be-all of Indiana wrestling, which is so not true. There's so many more talented guys out there. For instance, obviously, Billy, if we were wrestling, then you're right. You could wrestle circles around me. I have no problem admitting that. As far as charisma, you get a crowd fired up, and and I'm learning how to, because I'm just now becoming a face or whatever. But I know how to work people, and trust me, when it comes to promo skills, you're definitely not one to go to. But I digress. But my problem is that you really think you're really all that, and you're not. You still got a shoot job. You don't support your family, and you're still working a shoot job. You don't support them on just your wrestling. Until the day you actually support them on your wrestling alone, then I could say, hey, the man made it. I'll give him his due. I still think he's a punk bitch, but whatever. It's funny because I actually called him when I found out it was official that we were going to run at the fairgrounds. Left a message because I know he likes to, he told me he likes to screen his calls, which is fine. But I left a message for him saying, hey, by the way, and I forget what all was said. Basically let him know we're going to run at the fairgrounds, and if he had an issue with it, he needs to contact me. We can meet face to face. It doesn't have to come to blows. No one's going to jail over it. But basically like Jeremy did, and I just have to arrange it more and can't just show up because I don't live in Lafayette anymore. So it'd be better if I know, hey, I'm going to Lafayette to meet with Billy or whatever. So, but my thing is if you cannot support your family and you still have a shoot job, you're really not all you're cracked up to be in wrestling. I'm sure Rhino pretty much supports himself on wrestling alone. He made it. He's a man to be respected. You're still working a shoot job. Probably will for the rest of your life. You have your class wars, did. You got your School of Rock, which is cool. Feathers in your hat. And like I said, as far as your October show, hey, gotta give you your due. You drew, but guess what? So did we. We drew, I'll go ahead and say it, 175.
And notice, we didn't go on Facebook and plaster it everywhere because we're not insecure. We know what we drew. We're happy with what we drew. We don't need the rest of the world to tout it for us.
Yeah, which it was cool though, because even a couple of days after the show, we were still getting texts and even messages on Facebook that, hey, man, that was an awesome show, man, that is probably the best one, I've seen in a while, especially from you guys, and that really meant a lot to us. We actually put a lot of, we had, like I said, DJ Steady B and Matt Coddington, buddies of mine with TSRP Networks, there's your plug, Shannon, do the flyers, or they had the company and they designed them. I think Shannon actually designed the flyer. We put them out there full force. I mean, we really went at it, and it's nice to know that, it all paid off. Mm-hmm. The wrestlers had a good time. I mean, just a really positive show. March for Retribution, we go all out for that. But we won't, like Jeremy said, we won't go, scream from the hilltops, hey, we did this and, good for us, we're the greatest. Because we know we're not. But we know that we put on a good quality show. People know it. People saw it, which was cool. We don't have to blow up our numbers and say, oh man, we did 700 people. And we know it's a flat out lie.
Yeah, which I guess by our by his number of 500, I guess we drew 490. We're 10 off, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we were going by what your boy said, versus what ours says, and you could ask, like I said, our number person is Jenny Lance, KJ's wife Jenna, Amber's right there. I don't think they exactly conspire, especially Jenny Lance, like she's not dating any wrestler or anything, she's just there for the fun of it.
Yeah.
But she freaking does a little clicker, she shows me the little clicker, I'm like, you make me smile.
I'd like to think if she was going to lie about numbers, she'd have done that long ago when
yeah.
we weren't drawing. But anyway.
But, like I said, that's my thing is, Billy Logston, you need a reality check. I don't know if maybe the whole thing with Tom Green, the whole split from Tom Green, maybe it'll sink in someday that, people just don't want to work with me because I'm just being a selfish prick, to be honest with you. But obviously, I don't know if it'll set in. What was some of the other things? Oh, what was the... what you brought it up. I was going to cover about the... I'm getting forgetful at my own page.
yeah. There's a lot of stuff here, so this is probably going to be like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
What did it have to do with? It had to do with was it the trainings? Oh yeah, him using us.
Oh yeah. About the class wars thing.
Hopefully that can be.
Or even actually before that, one of the things that he had said. And this goes back to 2009, 2010 when School Rock started? 2009?
2009, yes.
2009. He had said that we were honorary graduates of the School of Rock. Well, first off, I had kind of an issue with it. Jeremy told me about it, and I was like, oh, okay, but we didn't really... got to give the other devil his due, that being Sean and Guy. They were trained at the CWF training school.
I refused to at the time, and I still do. When people ask me, I say the Central Wrestling Federation training school, but I don't really mention the trainers because I don't like any of them.
But my thing is he was saying honorary graduates of, and at the time we were really taking off. 2008, 2009 were some of our strongest years, when we were top of BMF, and BMF was drawing real good at the time and all that stuff, and we were going all over the place. We went down to, I don't think we teamed at HPW.
We did a couple times.
Okay, we did a couple times, and then obviously we were making a name for ourselves up in Maryville and all that stuff at the time. But, he made sure he knew that we actually have graduates. Dude, you could just said you're Billy Rock and start from scratch. You didn't have to bring us into it and say, oh, there are honorary graduates, and look how well they're doing. So to me, that felt like you were using us, but
I remember
it's not the first time, right? Well, maybe it is the first time, I don't know.
Yeah, but it definitely wasn't the last.
Yeah, definitely not the last.
Yeah, I remember you saying that when he moved, he introduced us to one of his coworkers or whatever as, these are my trainees.
Yeah, we helped him move into his new house out there outside of Dayton, Indiana, back in 2010.
Yes.
It was 2010, and he had some stuff at his mom's shop, and we arrived there and all that stuff. You know, being the good, obedient buddies, friends that we were. You know, he was like, "Hey," the guy who was with us helping us, he's like, "Hey, yeah, this is Abel and Jeremy. They're my graduates. I trained them and all that stuff, like putting us out, you know." Which I'm like, you know, you really don't have to do that, you know. I like I said, I just kind of, why, you know? To me, when I think back at that stuff, to me it says that he was basically using the fact that we were known and we were doing pretty well, and he used that to his advantage to help get his school off the ground. You know, Mr. King of Indiana, you shouldn't have to do that, right? I mean, everyone should know you, right? Especially in the wrestling circles. They should know that your accomplishments speak for themselves. I mean, you've wrestled out there on the East Coast, right? And now you've done a match for Chikara, which didn't do it at the time, but
he's wrestled for
Ring of Honor
like a handful of times.
Yeah.
And he's done 2 Ring of Honor dark matches.
So you were putting you over, buddy.
Yeah. But hey, none of that, all that pales in comparison to Class Wars.
Oh yeah. That's world renowned.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my thing, Billy Logston, is, you know, check yourself, homie. You know, you're not king shit.